Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
And I'm Chris.
Today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 10, Episode 12.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. I have a problem, Blair.
What's your problem?
I have a big problem with this show. I have a big problem with this season so far, even though it's last season, but it's a continuation. So far in this new season, on the second half of this season, we have yet to see Marsau storyline, Tisha storyline, Marie storyline, Kimmi storyline, and things of that nature. They gave us a Destiny-centered storyline about her dating three guys that know each other and things of that nature.
That she really not serious about none of them.
While at the same time didn't date, she called one of them a business meeting and things of that nature. The other one didn't even sleep with her, and one wants to sleep with her, but Martell spoiled the plan. Yeah. So, like, what are we doing? Anybody selling houses? Anybody talking about marriage? Because remember, Destiny's not married, Lance not married, Will not married, Twan not married. You get what I'm saying? Martell's not married, but yet we go center love and marriage Huntsville around people who are not married and a guy that potentially do not even have his builder's license.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I guess I am.
Let's go.
So Martell is meeting with Chris and Destiny to discuss the house that he's going to be building.
Okay.
And I put it in quotes because it's been a running thing about him not having his building license, but he pairs up with people in order to build things.
Yes.
So he's going to have them split a fee in some type of way, but it's going to be $1 million listing. This would have been his dream house location when he was married, so he is reclaiming what he lost.
Yeah.
He says it'll take 7 to 8 months to build, and Chris says it might take about a year to sell.
Stop right there for a second. I just want to address one sentence. He said that this was a dream location when I was married. It wasn't so much of a dream because you need the marriage to have the dream, to have the location for the dream house that you want for your family. Yeah. So it wasn't that much of a dream, but I hear you. Continue.
Yeah. Chris knows that he's going to be able to sell this house before Destiny and before it gets built. Yeah. So they talk about game night. Chris says that Nell felt ganged up on and he thought Destiny would have her back. Yeah. Why was everyone out there if it was a conversation between Nell and Tisha? But Destiny explained she was out there because she was the one getting the two different stories and she was trying to help clarify and diffuse the situation. Yeah. They changed the conversation to Destiny showing up with Will. It was their first date, and they also asked her about Twan. She says Twan is her friend. There is an attraction there, and things are completely done with Lance. Martell says Will probably won't be the one after the conversation he had with him at the gym, where Will talked about how he had a lot of love, and it's hard to give his love to one woman. He won't wait for long, so it'll probably be a hit it and quit it situation. Destiny is not going for that, and Martell says it's an issue for a woman to hold out on a man. I'm just tired of hearing Martell's thoughts come out of his mouth.
Well,
like if you want to keep him on the show because that's your friend or whatever the case may be, but let him talk less.
But unfortunately, Marsau don't want to film, Tisha don't want to film, Kimmi don't want to film unless they are going at Nell. Maurice don't want to film unless he's begging his wife for sex or whatever. We completely forgot about the whole, what is Kimmi's son name? Jalen.
I'm about to say,
like Jalen. Like we totally forgot that storyline. Here's the issue with this right here, because you're not going to pull the wool over my eyes and over this channel's eyes. Destiny, you did not potentially date three guys, right? And did not know that all three of them did not know each other. Yeah. Because you knew that Twan knew Lance.
Yeah, because he recommended him, but you just didn't know they were that close. But does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter because you knew that they was friends. So this whole idea that Destiny is trying to give off this facade, in my opinion, this is my opinion, that you know what, I'm not going for the hit it and quit it. Destiny, you're grown. I know a whole bunch of grown women who basically like, listen, I have no problem with a situationship, and I think Destiny just trying not to portray herself that way of saying, oh no, I'm not trying to go for that, but at the same time, I'm going to date three guys that know each other very closely. Yeah. It's an oxymoron. Destiny, do what you want. You already said on your date with Twan that you're going to do whatever you want and you're going to date multiple people if you want to and things like that.
Yeah, so don't be so coy about it.
Exactly.
And just be a grown woman about it.
And you over here trying to make it known every episode that just because I'm dating doesn't mean I'm sleeping with them. But just because you are dating, you can sleep with them. You're grown.
Exactly. So, it's whatever you want to do.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what she's trying to portray, like this good girl, you got to earn this type of thing.
maybe down in Huntsville they'll be judging her like crazy if she's sleeping with all the homies and stuff.
It's already if you
dating all of them, it looks crazy. It's
already crazy. So you might as well get something out of it, in my opinion.
So Nell is going to open up a boutique. Chris is going to help her find the right place. Lance comes by, no baby.
Oh yeah,
that's what Nell wanted to know.
Yeah. She like, why are you here if you ain't got no baby in your arms?
So we learned that Lance rehired Chris Jr. He feels like he's underpaid, and Lance feels like he's not qualified enough to be paid more. Nell feels like she's in the middle with Chris venting to her, but she is going to stay out of it. Chris says that they should have another Fletcher dinner. Nell agrees, but she doesn't think it's going to go well.
Yeah, Nell said, let's call it like a Fletcher party or something like that, because dinner just means it's going to be tension and things of that nature. Dinner literally just means food.
Right.
That's what dinner means. But by her already saying that Chris been venting to her about Lance and things like that, already built the stage that Nell's going to yell at this dinner because that's how she communicates and things of that nature. And when it comes down to Lance and Chris, I don't know. Here's the thing about it, right? I am all for being your brother's keeper. You get what I'm saying? And Chris want to get paid more, and Lance is like, you don't even do the work enough to really qualify for the pay that you're asking for, right? My whole thing is, if he don't qualify for the work, then don't hire him. Don't rehire him and things like that. I understand that you want to give somebody a handout and things of that nature, even though he got to work for it. I would just save myself the stress and not hire him. You get what I'm saying? Because he's over here, Lance, talking about some days he good, but then some other days I'm stressing because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. I'm going to save myself the stress and say, you know what? You know how I'm going to save our family relationship, our brotherly relationship? You ain't going to work for me. You get what I'm saying? Because I love you as a brother.
Yeah.
And I only want to view you as a brother.
So Will invited Destiny to a skate date. She's wearing a dress.
Yes.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, it's okay.
So he brings some stuff to show who he is. We only get to the basketball.
Only.
And it helps him to remind himself to enjoy life.
Okay.
We learn he has 4 kids, 4 baby moms.
Yeah.
And she asks if he believes in marriage. He believes it exists. In a relationship, he would agree to commit to the right person or persons. Destiny is not with the polygamy type of stuff.
Yeah.
And he says that he'll never lie, but he also may not volunteer the truth. So Destiny brings up the hit it and quit it comment Martell told her about. And he said, well, it probably was jokes, but also I heard you're talking to Twan. I've known him since 2002. And Destiny at first says that it was a business lunch, but then the more she starts talking, the more she gets choked up about the situation. Huntsville's too small. Now she's ready to run out the date.
Huntsville's not that small. It's smaller than some cities, but it's not that small to where you're dating godsons or god brothers at that, and Will.
And this is what confuses me about Destiny, because if you're such a grown woman to where you're going to date whoever you want to date, you're going to tell these men that you're not going to sleep with them, and they're going to have to be okay with that if they want to go on dates with you. Why are you shrinking when they ask about each other?
Yeah. If it's nothing.
I mean, if they know about each other, so what? You're single, you're dating, you're living your life. I mean, that's why I'm just like, if you're going to go full force into the dating realm. But it's kind of like she's trying to hide some of it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the secrecy. I really don't.
She's trying to hide some of it on TV.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And this is why, Carlos, you should not. Yes, I'm calling you to the front too. This is why you should never, from this point on, never make a Destiny-centered episode. In any season from this point on. It should never be a Destiny-centered episode. Remember, you let her go because she didn't share her life. And now she's over here kind of producing her life of like, oh, I'm dating these guys. I didn't know they knew each other. Oh, my God. Stop it. And then being scared to say that you dating them and say, oh, it was a business meeting. I'm over the whole Destiny storyline.
So Will, Ken, and Martell are playing basketball.
Yeah.
Will brings up his date with Martell, and Martell brings up the hit it and quit it comment. And Will asks him, why would you tell her that? Because why would you tell her that?
Why would you tell him?
Martell's talking about, that's my girl. She's recently divorced. We go way back. And Will's like, okay, so I have to watch what I say around you. And he said, well, not much happened because I can't do much once you reveal the game plan. She did lie to him about the Twan situation. Things switched up once she found out that he knew who Twan was. And Martell says the worst thing for a woman to be doing is lying.
Worst thing that a woman to do is lying? The worst thing? Okay.
And Will talks about how he spoke to Twan, they're friends, and, they they do things together. Apparently Destiny and Twan do stuff together, and we're left to figure out what that is to our own devices, I guess.
Let me tell you something
when does production come in and start producing, because these people are being vague.
Let me tell you what is much worse than what Martell said. The worst thing a woman can do is lie. Let me tell you what's much worse. Is to be in partnership with your wife. You have a whole flourishing business with your wife. She has the builder's license. You don't. So you kind of need each other, right?
Right.
Even though she is the one that has the legit license and things like that, you are the one that talks to the contractors. You are the one that have the personal relationship with the builders and things of that nature. So y'all are in tandem working together, right? Remember that dream location for that dream house, for that dream life you wanted and things like that? The worst thing you can do is sacrifice that for a woman that you can't really bring your kids around, for a woman that you keep having kids with, for a woman that you kind of you're trying to hide her,
for a woman that you got to put into a rental home.
Well, his rental home.
But still, it's just like you had somebody that you were actually building and growing things with, and this girl is bringing, I mean, she's being a mother to your child.
Yes.
And that's the most that she's bringing to your life.
And my thing, and I'm saying that's much worse.
Yeah.
That's much worse than just lying and things like that. You basically self-destructed your whole life. You get what I'm saying? That is much worse than lying.
So when he talks, I'm just kind of like, why is he talking?
Yeah.
So we get to the Fletcher family dinner. My favorite scene of the night.
Yes.
Lance says that he invited Kierra, and this is the girl that he brought to the game night, and they are dating. Nell and Chris think it's a little too soon.
Yeah.
Chris Jr. moved back in with them for about a month. Apparently, he was living in his car for a couple of days at first. Twan arrives, Kierra arrives, and Lance and Kierra, we learned, were in the same daycare class.
Okay.
And Nell is talking about how she usually cooks, and Kierra says, that's okay, I'll just have to come back another time. She asks her if she can call her mama, and Nell says, you can call me Miss Nell.
Stop right there. This girl, her flame too high for me.
Yeah, I think she feels comfortable because she went to Nell's daycare, so maybe she feels a familiarity with the family, but they're actually just getting to know you, you know?
Yeah. I want to know what's this girl's angle and why she's on my TV screen, right? Number one, beautiful girl. Let's start there.
Very beautiful.
Right? Beautiful girl. But I have to ask her, and hopefully Lance asked her as well, why are you talking to Lance this soon? Lance just had a baby.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If this is your chance to be on TV, to actually have a scene with Lance and things like that, to be seen and things of that nature. So it just comes off as very weird and very strange. And for someone who haven't been to any family dinner or anything like that, for you to come in basically trying to be that comfortable with strangers, basically, it just came off as like, okay, relax. Like, your job is to come, eat, and say little as possible throughout the night. You get what I'm saying?
So Chris Jr. is talking about how he's been putting his daughter first in everything he does.
Nice.
Kierra felt like Destiny was giving her looks all night at the game night. And Nell said that she didn't think it would be good for Lance and Destiny to date. I mean, Destiny pulled up at her house one day while Lance went to go pick up some pizza, and she caught Lance talking outside with Destiny while she was watching the grandkids inside. And this was a couple of days after Fletchtivities, so Nell feels like Destiny did feel a way that Kierra was there.
Interesting.
So Nell just spilling all the beans, ain't she? And then what's she gonna say? It's none of your business what I said.
Hey, but look, though, I have no problem with Nell spilling that tea, because number one, we need some tea.
That's true.
And number two, Destiny was being the bone carrier in the whole Tisha, Nell, Kimmi thing. So now guess what? Nell is bone carrying over here, and now Chris is over here saying the same thing, like, yeah, like, Destiny live on the other side of town. Why is she over here? And now I gotta ask the question, Destiny, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
But let's keep going.
Kierra brings that up to Lance, and Lance is talking about how when he was pulling back into the driveway, he noticed her car, and they talked for about 10 minutes. And everybody said, 10 minutes? That's kind of a long time. So he doesn't really know what the conversation about. Apparently, she was driving around trying to get the kids to go to sleep. And he said, and we were friends first. Nell says that there is chemistry there, which Lance agrees. And she says that he doesn't that Destiny says she doesn't care, but she still flirts with Lance.
Okay.
Twan shares that he went on a business date sort of situation with Destiny, and Nell asked if he got paid, because, I mean, if you got paid, it's business. If not, it's not business. And then she brought up how she brought Will to the event. And Twan said he told Will that, look, we're all single. We can all date who we want.
Yeah. Dude, like, you see how easy that is, Destiny?
Yeah.
Besides trying to explain and trying to basically make it look like one way when it really not, it just comes off as, Destiny, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's keep going.
So now ask Lance if he wants to get back into the dating world before, and at the time he said no. But he's dating Kierra, and he said, look, I'm dating her. I'm not dating anybody else. And he hasn't really asked her to be official because he is very busy, and they've had this conversation. And Kierra tells him, well, when it's time, you do have to ask me to be your girlfriend. And now feels like Kierra is doing the most.
Now, watch this, right? Like, this conversation right here actually made me go, Kierra, Lance said at this table just now that, hey, I didn't want a girlfriend. I didn't want to date. And I'm not exclusive, but even though we're not exclusive, I'm not talking to nobody else. And I told her, and he looked over to Kierra and basically said, I'm going to put my child first because I'm a full-time dad and things of that nature. And basically, I'm going to have to fit you in. That was basically the closest thing he said. I think I'm paraphrasing, but I think he used the word fit you in.
He definitely said that.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would you subject yourself to a man who just had a baby, not with you, right? And he have to fit you in.
It's a tale as old as time, and some women feel like I'm going to change the situation because I'm that girl. I'm that bad. I'm that amazing. That once he gets a piece of this or he's around me and all that type of stuff, he's going to drop everything to be with me. And unfortunately, that's never the case. Majority of the time, that's never the case. So yeah.
Let's keep going.
So Fletcher asked why Chris was staying in his car for 2 nights, why he didn't reach out.
Yeah.
And he said that if I'm in a bad space, why do I have to reach out? I need to stay to myself, get myself together. And he feels like his parents love him so much to the point that they can be holding him back sometimes because they do too much. And Chris says it's the first time, he's heard Junior acknowledge his wrongdoings, and what we call spoiled, y'all feel entitled. And Chris wanted to take that away for a long time. Well, now wants to pipe up because what do you mean you wanted to take that away, as though I didn't want to, allow the kids to do what they needed to do. She just didn't want to see her son in prison. And Chris Jr. says that it feels better to figure things out yourself and not have people holding things over your head. And Fletcher says that it's kind of an obligation as a parent. And Lance jumps in to say, look, Dad asked him a question. Chris explained his answer. And you agree with Chris. And now you're going at Dad. Like, what is this about? And Nell is now upset because, Lance, why are you defending your father? If he want to defend himself over something, he can defend himself. And Nell says that, all of y'all stressing me out. Chris asked if they remembered the boundaries conversation they set, and Lance was like, yeah, because it was mostly financial. And Nell tells them, we're getting older. Then she started crying, y'all.
She did.
She said there's things that they want to do. Y'all done broke me down. One person is doing a lot, and it's me, and she has to get up away from the table.
Now, take me back to the top of this scene, right? Because, Chris, good try, but not good enough, right? He said, if I'm in a bad space, why do I need to reach out? Right? I need to stay to myself to figure it out, to get myself together. And actually, have you ever thought about that maybe your love and you actually caring about me is holding me back because, like, that's doing too much. And the thing about that is, if it was the other way around to where they didn't care about him, I don't even know, if we gonna be frank, if Chris would have made it to where he is right now.
Yeah.
Hell, you had your father, Chris Fletcher Sr., right, in tears, talking about you driving around in the middle of the night. Call me. Do things like that. And now you're taking advantage, and it is taking advantage, right, of basically a parent who basically is there for you and who wants to be there for you. Hell, you slept 2 days in the car, and then you eventually move your stuff in there eventually.
And that's what I don't understand. So you had to take time to figure out you were going to get help from your parents? And then to say that they're holding you back, I just feel like that's kind of a slap in the face to your parents.
And this is where Nell lost me right here, right?
Yeah.
Because I think Chris, when I was looking at Chris' face while Chris was saying this, talk about Big Chris, right? He kind of looked like he was like, he felt disrespected, but he held his cool together.
Right. I
think Nell felt disrespected, but she didn't know who to turn.
I think she was mad because she knew he was talking about her.
Yeah, and he didn't know. She didn't know who to turn her anger towards. So at first she turned it to her husband, right? Because he said, "Look, what y'all call, like, what we call spoiled, y'all call entitled. He said there's been plenty of times to where we wanted to just let y'all go, just let y'all figure it out. And then that's when Nell kind of took offense to that. They said we, and that's when she was like,
no, he said I, and then that's why he was like, should I say we?
But at first, because her whole point was, I think Chris' whole point was he been wanted to say, let them figure it out. Like, don't save them.
Yeah, but that's why Nell was upset, because she didn't include her in that statement.
But also, but Chris' whole point was, oh, if this is what you wanted, I've been wanted to do this.
Right.
Right? And Nell took offense because she's whole thing is like, I never wanted to let them go, especially to prison. Right? And that's where I think if it was up to Chris would have let little Chris go to prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let him sit it out for a little bit.
Exactly. And I think a lot of the fights that they had personally as a couple over the kids, outside of just the money, is the difference of parenting they both want to do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of times that Nell feels like, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. And Chris was like, no. That's why you hear a lot of times, especially in the flashbacks, you hear Nell say things like, I'm in debt because of y'all. Because I think Chris said, you know what? If you're going to help them, you're going to spend your money.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I think Chris wiped his hands clean. And he's, look, I'm willing to be a talking ear. I'm willing to listen to you if you want to talk to somebody. But I'm not spending my money helping y'all out anymore. I think the thing that Chris been wanted to do, Nell has been very cautious and she's been very hesitant to do. And she's not getting the credit for being the only one that's really for the kids. And that's what, and you know, whenever that happens, she start banging the table.
Yeah.
And I think she was just so emotional that she's going at Chris, she's going at Lance, she's going at her husband, because she just like, all my effort and there's things I want to do, and I'm still being viewed as the bad guy.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, no, I feel like that's what it is. I think Nell felt called out because Chris was talking about how he wanted to pull back, but Nell wanted to continue to press forward and be a support. But she has rationalized it in her mind. It's because she didn't want her kid to go to jail.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are other situations to where he could have figured it out or gotten himself out of a situation or maybe dug himself deeper, but he still would have been okay.
Yeah.
And I think that Nell probably feels like she did the best she can, and she doesn't want no critiques about what she decided to do to help her kids to get wherever they can get in life. And unfortunately, whether you did a great job or whether you did a bad job, there's going to be things that are going to be critiqued about your parenting.
Yeah, and even to the point to where Chris was like, do y'all remember the boundary conversation? And that's when I was like, we kind of remember just the financial part, because he said he still owe his mother money,
right,
including after the boundary conversation.
Right.
So even after the boundary conversation, Nell has still expanded herself very thin to help her children out, and now she's being called out by saying, now you help me out too much, you love me too much, and that's holding me back. And that's when and I think in this moment, I think it's one of those like I told you so moments. And you know, in a marriage, one person don't like being told I told you so. Chris is going to have that conversation with her like, I told you so, you're doing all this stuff, and even at the end of the day, they don't appreciate it.
Yeah,
let them rot. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And let's see, I think that was everything.
That's everything?
Yeah, that was everything.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. We see you.
Bye.